Hey, welcome back to Disco Elysium, and that is literally where we are now. Disco Elysium being the name of this new nightclub that is just getting started. I want to talk to the programmer here to...
Yes, what is it?
I want to figure out if she's figured out what the deal is with that hole in the universe. So I say, how's the project going? I see that your neighbors have moved in, but all I hear is hypnotic dance music. What? She leans closer, her eyes knitted together in a puzzled expression. What did you say? You can barely hear her over the thumping bass of hypnotic dance music. I said, how's the project going? I can't hear you. She shouts, pointing at the enormous speaker that's churning out the sound. The music is too loud. The project, how is it going? Oh, the project. Her face lights up for a second before she gives you an exaggerated head shake. It's not going well. Why? Suna, there's that guy. She points at Egghead, who's raving behind his turntables on a brightly lit stage. I need him to plug a 3.5 cable into the auxiliary input so that I can route the audio signal through this mixer into the speakers. Alright, I got that. 3.5 cable in the auxiliary input. Why don't you ask him? He doesn't listen to me. He only ever seems to care about hardcore and Yekokata, a place to be, apparently. I'll speak to him, see what I can do. Thanks, maybe you can get through to his magic rhymes. She does jazz hands to mock him. Let me know how it goes. Right, work in peace. Dude, is this Egghead?
DeLorean Church! The place to be! Make some noise, my church people!
Large speakers are set up behind the young man, blasting a familiar song. I love this guy. He's gotta be my favorite. He stands on a stage behind a table, nodding along to the music and waving his hand in the air. In front of him, the audio mixer, one reel spinning. The other reel deck is empty. Cables run hither and thither. On one side, you see an auxiliary line-in with the number 4.5 written to it. All right, Egg, can you please route Suna's signal through your speakers? To the Mega, yeah! He's serious. I can route it to the auxiliary. What kind of cable does she use, 3.5 or 4.5? It's 3.5, no doubt about it. It's on the ground. Point to it. Oh, she uses 3.5. An uncomfortable pause follows. Yeah, the auxiliary line-in is 4.5. These two don't mix. Oh no. Lieutenant closes his eyes. We're gonna be in this church forever. It's like it's not your first RPG game or something here, Kim. Don't worry, I have an adapter for it right here. He searches for the cable on the ground and picks it up, looking at the jack. Hang on, this is a 4.5. We're all good, people. With a grin, he sticks the plug into the auxiliary line in. You hear a satisfying click. Whoa, thank God. Adapters noticeably degrade the sound quality. Great, someone got through to him. Okay, let's get it all set up. Can we turn out the music off, please? Egg, the music? Everybody, don't panic. I'm gonna turn off the audio for just a sec. The young man shouts as he clicks a switch on the mixer. For a special scheduled event. The Arno will be back, but we're doing something else for one moment. He turns to you. All right, go tell the Egghead is ready to rave to her tunes, and then I'll turn off the music. All right, Egghead, goodbye. All right, ma'am.
Yes, what is it?
She does look up the keyboard. All right, I talked to Egghead. He plugged in the cable. You can now unmute your speakers. Okay, but she seems hesitant. Her eyes still fixed on Egghead. Think you can ask him to turn the volume down a bit, just in case? Maximum! Shouts Egghead, a great smile still adorning his face, larger than a red dwarf star. Maximum is the only way! I know it is, but could you just please turn it down just instance? Just this time. On time. Maximum is not the only way, okay? Pump it to the brake. Pump it to the hard master. There is no other way. Glue style. Glue style? Okay, there literally is no other way. The mixing desk is glued to maximum. What's the point of having a mixing desk? See? She turns to face you, ready to give up. He pumps it to the hard master. It's hopeless. Why did you turn down the volume? Because I'm afraid that something might happen. It's an unknown phenomenon. She turns to Egghead. We can always turn it back up if there's a need. Can't turn down the hardcore. I think what Egghead is trying to say here is that the volume button is stuck on maximum. Of course it is. She shrugs, consigned to her fate. Yeah, permanent enlightenment ray of sound. Never mind then, let's get on with our project. I am going to unmute the speakers on a count of 5. Everyone ready? She looks around in the church. Egghead pumps his hand up in the air, waiting for the beat to drop. Born ready, says Andre. Ready, yells Noid. Finally, Acela turns her face to you and Kim. I'm ready if you two are, detectives. The lieutenant nods stoically. Suddenly your palms are sweaty. The church seems cold and large somehow. You know what? We're just gonna do this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mute disengaged. She lifts her hand from the keyboard. Complete silence fills the room. No wind outside, no waves, no floorboards creaking. Total, continuous silence. This is unnatural. The woman looks around. In the silence, you see dust move on the floorboards. The driver of the speaker vibrates in the air and then stops. Plasterwork begins to crumble down the walls. Uh-oh. In the silence, a low hum starts creeping up your spine. It's like a song inside you. Not in the speakers, not in the room. A great bass sigh in the basement of your mind. Slowly it builds until the air around you starts to vibrate. I think this is bad. It will devour everything. The floorboards, the glass, the streets, and the people. Nothing will remain. Guys, what's going on? There's alarm in the man's voice as he steps back to scan the surroundings. A slight rattle like crystal clattering in the cupboard fills the air, joining the chorus. This fragile world is about to break. It's getting louder, says Noid, his eyes riveted on the strange circle of water basins. In the basins, the water looks like it's boiling. Hosanna, Mother of Mega! You hear Egghead yell, then something else, but his voice is growing faint. In his mind, a tidal wave approaching from afar, swallowing entire coastlines on its way. Salvation. It was in me at first. The beauty and the beat, the future of dance, planetary! No, Egg, it's the window. The glass shards around Dolores Dye's vacant heart appear to be vibrating from the sound. It almost looks as if she's alive. In the corner of your eye, the lieutenant steps aside cautiously, his eyes searching for a possible excavation route. Are we about dead? The window is going to come down. No, the roof! She looks up. A screech fills the air, a scream of wood and nails. The pillars of the church twist and creep above and around you. Cracks appear on the stained glass window. Cracks up the wooden pillars in the dark. Turn it off, you idiots! Come down to us, love! It's shaking the building's foundations. The floor twists. A great pulse arises in your flesh. That's it! I'm muting it! She reaches for the keyboard. I think we should stop? Like, I want to dance with somebody. I really want to dance. I just think I'm going to die. Still, I'm going to dance. Oh, I want to feel the heat with somebody. Shit, it doesn't stop. The woman is furiously pressing down on her keyboard. The sound doesn't stop. Acela, have you... Yes, I've turned it off, she yells, holding the contact mic in her hand. Andre, pull the compressor. A place is going to come down. Fuck. Andre frantically smashes buttons. I can't shut it up. The signal's passed. It's not in here. It's in the mixing desk now, building into a positive feedback loop. This is it. A great roar. The vault of the roof twists above you. Glass shatters somewhere near the door. It's coming down. Egghead, it's in the desk! And then it stops. Totally and utterly. As if there never was a sound. Only your ears still ring from the shock. Everybody is staring at Egghead, holding a tangling cable in his hand. A black 3-pin connector. Egg? I pulled the plug, he says calmly. It was getting too hardcore. You did good, Egg. Andre breathes a sigh of relief and inspects the window. Most of the place seems to be intact. Fucking programmer lady, tell me you're recording that. 4 years, the woman whispers. 22 people, millions of reals. All that time, this is what we were up against? Just erased it. Her lip trembles. Sulisla isn't going to believe this. Yeah, but did you record it though? It was dope. I think we can use it. Yes, Andre. She composed herself, wipes the dust off her sweater, and rests her hand on the keyboard. I recorded it. Damn, I need to send some letters now. Thank you all for doing this, Egg. Eggman, you too. And you, officer. She turns to you. I don't know what we've discovered, but I know that it's what it sounds like now. That's a start. Kim, did you hear that? It was very hard not to. I think you're right, he turns to the woman. There is something going on here, and you need to be very careful with it. I promise, officer, we will not play it again. What was that? I've never heard anything like that. It was mathematical information from the anomaly presented as a waveform. That's what it was, technically. Theoretically, she shakes her head. I have no idea. I have never even heard of anything like this. Her voice seems muffled in the silent church. It's your ears adjusting after the exposure. You're going to write Sulisla. Actually, is that that should actually be Sulisvla. It's, I know that like L with this slash to it should be pronounced like V. So this would be Sulisva. Sulisva. So I should start getting that right. I didn't notice that had the slash through it. Yes, a lead designer, and maybe some of the producers too, and some of the writers, if they're sober enough to open a transmission, they need to hear that it wasn't her fault, or theirs. They need to hear about this. Don't worry, I won't send the recording, although I doubt they have the speakers to produce the frequency anyway. What happens now? Are you going to... Stay here, she cuts you off, her deft fingers already in the keyboard. I am going to stay here with these lunatics, send letters, maybe meet Sulisva, also devise further measurements. I want to know it's totally chill with us. I don't care, she blurts and reads, but thank you anyway. That's the best she can manage for Andre. It's quite a lot in truth, for her at least. Now... Her hands move on the keyboard. I have a theory to come up with. Some kind of preliminary explanation to all of this. Or the letter will sound like I've lost my mind. Yes, and we have to get back to stabilizing Martinez, he breathes out, trying to shake off tension, instead of demolishing it with loud bass noises of unknown origins. You have an explanation for all this. Somewhere deep in you, you know. The person you were knows. So godly logic. I'm definitely gonna... I have stuff to up my logic, and I am going to go for it. I gave away my hat that gives me extra logic. But I've got... I think like yeah, these glasses with the flip. They give me some logic. Maybe that's it. I feel like there's something else. Maybe I'm just remembering the hat. Oh, this hat here gives me a couple of extra. That's right. And I think that's it when it comes to the logic. That's quite a lot, though. That's a +3. That's, like, really good. And I just got a point. And, oh, it's here. I have one already in logic. I could put another one in there. I'm just thinking, oh, the one more door thought is complete. Okay, let's check this out. There is no way to open the supply depot door. Accept it. You cannot open all the doors. You have to integrate this into your character. Some doors will forever remain closed. Even if every single other door will open at one time or another, maybe to a key, or maybe to some sort of tool meant for opening doors. But this one will never accede to such commands. A realization crucial to personal growth. Crucial. All right, I lose 1 to half-light, and then I get all psychology white checks unlocked. I don't know if that was that great, to be honest. What kind of psychology white checks are hanging out? And after all, we've got... This has been... The cargo container door has been re-unlocked, I think. That's psychology. And Measurehead, which I never wanted to do anyway, and that's like it. Oh, and then this one from Suna, but I already had that. It was already unlocked. So anyway, let's try this out.
What is it?
Oh, wow, an even try. I kind of like that. So kind of form a theory on the 2mm hole in the world. Nice. You don't have to. You already have a long time ago. Wait, how? These thoughts formed in you somewhere in a long forgotten discussion behind a kitchen table in the evening light. Drinking coffee and smoking with a friend. Suna, it is the origin point of the pail. What? The swallow. It's how it starts. It's baby pail. But she looks up and there's fear in her eyes as she considers a possibility. But pail isn't here. For thousands of kilometers from the edge. No, look up first. We are 20 meters from the very edge. She looks up into the darkness under the nave, then back at you. The pale is only an effect, a transition between the world and that. Then, what is that? It's nothing. No, it's less than nothing. No. It's less than nothing. The final rest state for reality. Imagine if all this, spread your hands, never was. Then the pail is simply a gradient or simply curdling milk? One with gradient. Simply a gradient. But the gradient, it clearly hasn't started yet. For here, and the pail is not. One day, when it's larger, it will be. I understand. She closes her eyes. A theory of the pail where instead of an outer ocean, it metastasizes, like a cancer or a mold, erupting in points inside the world. Nod. This is one of those places. She's silent for a second, then she opens her mouth. According to this, how long? Until it starts swallowing? It's already started, starting with sound. And information, she nods, causing data losses in the East Insulidian front. Have you considered why it's formed in a church? And also when or how it might start growing? Or if it has other effects in addition to sound and data? An intellectual hunger fills her now, casting her fear aside. I also have a question, since we're piling them on. How do you know this? I'm not doubting you, he explains. I'm simply curious as to how a detective of the RCM knows how to think this. Alright, well Kim, I think I've had this thought before, that's how I know. An amateur entroponetic police officer. I like to say I've heard stranger things, but I'm not sure. This is a hell of a guess, however. Well worded, I might add. Yes, it is very interesting, but I wouldn't say you know. This is a guess. One that's going to have to be proved by entroponetic scientists. Oh. It didn't form in a church, the church formed around it. Of course! A pylon sarcophagus or a, she looks for words, a containment facility of some kind built by the first settlers. Yes, acting on an instinctual level, or religious practices we've forgotten. So it's been here a long time, and religion has kind of formed around it. I have considered the same. The bad news is, there was 7 pinewood churches built in the first decade of Revachur's settlement. Most of them were burnt down during the Revolution, or repurposed before, during the Suzerain. I'm not saying all of them have one in them, but... Now consider that all the failed businesses in the doomed commercial area, all the failure in Martinez. You think the presence of that puncture has somehow influenced the outcome of events here? Even, say, software development? She already made up her mind when she heard it. Some kind of great and uncaring force had to play a part. It wasn't only them. I mean, people do fail on their own. But even the revolution was defeated here. I mean, kind of a anthroponetic history. I told the producers we need to go and move to a normal office building with amenities, but no. The artists like the milieu. The writers told, like, the history. She shook her head. I told them I should let people still working in there know about this that might be affected, or no, it's better they don't know. I kind of think maybe it's better they don't know, because like it could be like thousands of or even hundreds of thousands of years before it like affects them directly. Plus, it's only a theory. We don't really know this. And it's better they don't know. I told them, but no. Normal office buildings are bourgeois. Well, one day all the world will be like that 2mm hole. She falls silent. The wind blows in through the hole in the stained glass window, cold and moist. I'm going to leave that out, but the rest, some of this I can use to start to explain to the rest of the team. Maybe I'll sound mad, but... Madam, you will certainly sound mad. She shrugs. One more thing. Perhaps a club for Nordic music isn't the first thing you can erect around this particular point in space? The club is the only thing keeping its place and the rest of reality together? Maybe filling the noise to combat the silence. I wouldn't go so far as to... Yeah, once the light is on in the universe, it will never go out! Thank you, Egghead. Let's leave it at that, shall we? We have unanthroponic detection to perform in this district. I do have one mystery that still needs solving. The radio goes in the Doom commercial area's electronic doorbell. The creepy woman! She slaps her forehead. We were wondering about that when we worked there, but I had completely forgotten about it ever since. It must be anthroponetic crosstalk. The one you get in radios and long-distance calls. Now it makes sense with Pale right on the doorstep. Incredible, the lieutenant murmurs. This would also explain why we get it on the police radio all the time. Anthroponetic crosstalk? It's quite common, actually. When the signal gets routed through the Pale, all kinds of irregularities take place. You may hear snippets of someone else's conversation, or the voice of your former lover, or an echo of an event that took place 100 years ago. Pale is a shroud of memories, and it doesn't really distinguish to whom those memories belong to. You could hear anything. Well, that makes sense. Thanks for explaining that to me. Anytime. She smiles. Right, I'll let you work in peace now. Wow, well that has been a lot. We have cleaning out the rooms. Someone's been walking around in your dreams lately looking for something, tidying up, rearranging, storing away all the unrealized dreams, putting old pains in boxes. The worst nightmares have settled down for a while, a spot of light on the bedroom door after the dark, the fluttering of eyelids in the spring sun. A thought that arises only to disappear again, and yet there's a pattern emerging. I don't know. I might go for that. I'm not too far also from like another point. I've also got like 50 minutes to kill before I can go get my gun back. What do I have left to do? I don't have an opportunity for this, I don't think. I don't want to report back till I get the dice back. Oh, I could do this. I could talk to Acela about her associates. Oh, and make the jam harder core. Maybe, I wonder if it would get harder core if I gave him the tape that I played.
Good morning! Yeah! Harder core!
He waves his hands in the air. The words echo magnificently throughout the nave. Hey, I have a tape with me. Maybe you can use it to improve Van Eyck's jam. Tape, yeah, he grins. Spin the tape to the space escape, yeah. I got this banging megamix. Give him the great door gunner megamix. Alright. He snatches the tape from your hands and attaches it to the empty reel slot. One hand on his headphone, he listens to the audio, then shaking his head, he says, No, this is gonna make people scared. He hands the tape back to you. Keep it positive, keep the love in the house. Alright, never mind. All right, I guess I had forgotten that after I sang the Saint Saëns song that I didn't get the tape back. I was thinking I would get it back and give that to him to I thought it would just be kind of cool having that like really emotional, soft sound mixed in with the whatever kind of the anodic music. All right, well, Egghead, how do you like it in the church? Yeah, back on the K is no disgrace. He pumps his fist in the air. Bring it down to party place. The first page of the second chapter. His voice echoes all around the grand hall. Could it be? Maybe for him. You only have a chapter or two left in you. Last to the penultimate, more like. That was a crazy sound we heard before. Yeah, it was awesome and scary. Very hardcore. His voice booms through the chamber, then gets silent. Too hardcore, in fact. He brushed his hand through the hair. I couldn't control it at all. What happened? It sucks up all the air in the mix till it's the only thing left. Starts compressing itself and everything around it. Completely fills up the headspace. Extreme. Is there anything we can do about it? Oh. His mind is seemingly selecting through options. I don't know. Maybe someone can do something with this. I imagine this is a sound the future could make. Sound that the future could be even more hardcore than I imagined. Yeah! Alright, goodbye, Egghead. It's hurting my voice trying to talk like you, so let's, there was that thing that there was in the list to talk to her about her friends.
You got us in, cop. I can't believe you got us in.
I didn't mean him. Alright, whatever. With wonder in his sharp eyes, he looks around.
Between you and me, I don't know if you've noticed this about me. I'm a little suspicious of authority, but you really came through for the hardcore underground.
You're welcome, man.
Yes, you really came through for the hardcore underground. How come?
He spreads his arms, looking around at the speed freaks setting up shop. Andre is busy cutting some slightly less lame, but still quite ungainly shapes on the church floor, sweating profusely. Acela using her contact mic to listen to a tree underwater. The one with the large head is blasting the dance track on repeat while the stained glass window behind him rattling from the base. Sire, the tent, 'twas a security risk and in here's sanctuary. 'Twas only noble of you. I mean, I mainly did it so that she could be able to hear her thing, but, I'm generally into the hardcore lifestyle, Kim. You wouldn't understand. Or, these kids got spunk. I admire that.
Okay.
The lieutenant keeps it laconic. What he means is you can't possibly have handed them this real estate for such a flimsy reason. Then again, whatever keeps your nose out of the bottle and on the job. So, Noid, what do you think about the church? It's a miracle of carpentry. Dead bodies carved into total shapes. How can it be something more? No, it can be something more. He rubs his hands together. How old do you think this church is? Over 300 years? I'm not going to try to do his voice. The part of it is just a little too raspy. That's right. The first settlers built it, plus 6 more like it, out the coast here. Was one of the first things they did. Must have been really scared of something, but I understand. Alone in an uninhabited archipelago, forced to face themselves in nature. Pre-industrial quantities of solitude, the sea, perhaps something more fundamental. Yeah, like a 2mm hole in the world. He must mean something paranatural. I would want to build a safe place for myself. And my own as well. His voice echoes in the wooden cavern of the church. You mean the sound anomaly? Maybe. Looks up into the rafters. Maybe they were unable to face the nature of the world. Perishing. What style is the church in? A copy's in a building critique. He taps a floorboard. Okay then. This is folk DeLoreanism, lawmongerer. It's a subset of early DeLorean architecture. Okay, and what is DeLorean architecture like? Total. Everything between an ancient concrete cathedral and a glass cube is DeLoreanism. This is just a homespun version of it. Folksy stuff. Early mass production. They made thousands like this. Does that help you out? What would a DeLorean building look like? Like that woman there. He nods towards the stained glass window. Vertical, thin, white, a false image of the grandeur. The source of the system is up there. You're at the bottom. They really dug that power vertical. Like to show off large and intricate structures, arches, spires. Put you down with them. They were really into painting everything in white too. Virginal shit, you know? Marriage shit. Virtue and tyranny. This church isn't painted white as far as I can tell. Stands to reason it used to be white on the outside. He peeks out of a small window in the dark before the sea wind took all the paint off. Year after year, flake after flake, whitewashed clean, then covered in green moss. What did you mean by dead bodies? Dead bodies of perennial plants, he taps out in the wood. Sigma functions have left this place. It's a good thing we came along. The spiritual collapse has been total. Spiritual collapse? I saw some piglets suckling their dead mother. Have you heard this one, cop man? He continues without waiting for an answer. After a short while, they shuddered and went away. Is that like lyrics? They had said she could no longer see them and she wasn't like them anymore. But what they loved in their mother wasn't her body, but whatever it was, it made her body alive. End of quote. This is a high-quality carcass. He kicks the floorboards. The power of anodic beats and hard bass is needed to reanimate it. Yeah, where's that quote from? A Ceres man who lived a long time ago, an ancient hardcore brother. What you're saying is religion has stopped being hardcore. It never was. A 3,000-year-old regime of history built by hundreds of generations of self-appointed intellectuals. He looks around. It's false to the core. The way he says it, the false in false core is invested with 20 kilotons of disgust. And you propose dance music will supplant this system? Unlikely. Anodic dance music, he nods. Regular dance music wasn't hard enough, and yes, I do. Alright, good luck with that, Noid. How do you like the glasswork? I don't. He looks over his shoulder. Fucker giving me the evil eye. You wanted to get inside the church, and now you don't like the stained glass window? I didn't know it was in here. He cracks his neck. We have to get rid of it, dismantle it. Can't dance with a giant mass murderer looking at you. Not good look for the club. Mellow, man, mellow, yells his friend. No one's a mass murderer. This is a house of love. Mass murderer on the floor. Let's see. She's the innocence of humanism. Human is a big deal around here. That's like appeal to authority. But she's pretty. I kind of see that. Yeah, but like who isn't accused of being a mass murderer these days? I kind of feel like that. The resettlement programs are totally okay. I'm a big fan of resettlement programs for some reason. No, thank you. I do feel there's something terrifying about her. Isn't she supposed to be an embodiment of the world spirit? Or would you say she was, you know, human? I'm going to go with the cynicism. I might work on him. Yeah, but like, who isn't accused of being a mass murderer these days? No one, says Arno van Eyck. Says Arno van Eyck is a mass murderer. The nanotic pioneer Redvelt is not a mass murderer. He's not accused of mass murder. Likewise, no one says Jermaine Egghead or Andre are mass murderers. You can live entirely outside that suspicion. Billions of people go about not being guilty of mass murder. He nods up, just not her. But she's pretty. She invented the beauty you're feeling. She and her glass cutters and iconographs. He turns to look up at her face. You set the standard, all right. Then you meet it. It's effective like that. But it's also very soft of core, that so-called beauty of hers. It's anything but soft core. It's terrifying. The young man nods. He looks worried. You may be onto something, Cropper Man. She's got those mass murdering hips. I do feel there's something terrifying about her. There is. She's a party repellent and must be taken down before we can begin partying in here. Keep it. Keep the beautiful sharp shards. Keep her long face and her hair. The speed freak's eyes narrow with suspicion, as if he's looking at a man possessed. It's not coming down. People are gonna love it. It'll be like our thing. Sorry, I slipped into Egghead there. But anyway, his friend keeps dancing. Plus it keeps the cold and rain out. Would you say she was, you know, human? Ha! The young man stretches his rib cage made of suspenders. I like this question, cop man. She did not live the life of a human. She lived like someone who was playing a game, the life of an operator. That's not the life that humans live. She was adored. Humans aren't. I don't know about you, but they hate me. And they do not think I'm innocent or some shit like that. Yeah, they hate this too. Point to yourself. Well, they loved her. They put all their love in her and forgot all but the rest of us. Young man lets go of the suspenders and they hit his chest with a slap. Hardcore suspenders, dude. All right, I'm done talking about her. I don't want to think about her anymore. What a strange choice of words. Caustic, overflowing with negativity. That can't be healthy. What's happening here? Why do you keep coming back to this window? It's a nice window and it's big. It's It's like one of the biggest things we've been able to talk about this whole game. Why do you keep saying that if it's making you feel well? Don't come back to this anymore. Stop talking with that damn window. Let's talk about the glasswork again. How are you settling in, Noid? Hard to say, cop man. Signs in here are distinctly wild. It's going to take a while before everything's properly synced. I did get to talk to the crab man, though. You mean Tiago? Anyway, he's been giving me a kind of psychic rundown of this place. Dude's seen some crazy shit, but he's actually a lot like us. What do you mean? The man picks up on stuff, and he knows a lot about the church. I got a lot to learn from him. Good thing you didn't squash him. Yeah, that wasn't River on the menu. What did Tiago tell you about the church? The crabman's been lurking here for a while. He's experienced things that give off bad signs. As far as we can tell, the Ubis built this place about 380 years ago as a sarcophagus. Do you mean there are dead bodies here? Not like a literal sarcophagus. I'm just being metaphorical. Well, what's it for? Encasement, confinement of something they were afraid of. Something new and unheard of on the Isola. He looks up into the darkness beyond the beams. I think that's what the crabman is experiencing when he climbs around upstairs. Like, this is some old world shit the Ubis had heard about, and thought the best way to deal with it was to build a church surrounding it, to contain it. I don't get it. Contain what exactly? You should get it, man. It's a 2mm hole. I don't know. And it's not something they properly understood either, what it does. But it's what this Suna person is looking for and trying to measure. He nods towards the woman. I probably should have talked to them first, huh? Anyway, it'll be fruitless, though. She won't be able to measure it. People like that always want to measure everything. All those things they really can't. What makes you think Suna's going to fail? Seems to be the trend around here, doesn't it? You can't measure shit like this. It's not like with substance. Well, if it's without substance, I guess there's nothing to worry about it. Maybe you can figure things out, cop man. I think we got on a good level here. The signs are syncing up well. Why are you suspicious of everything? Suspicious people are esoteric people. We don't go around spilling everything to Johnny Law. They don't call me Noid for nothing. It took us selling out for this whole enterprise to get our signs synced. Yeah, why are you called Noid anyway? It's short for paranoid. Got it. Tell me something else. Good call, not exposing yourself to stuff like that. What's with the clothes? He shrugs. They're hardcore. That's it? They're just clothes. Okay then. Just a style, you know. Well, take care, Noid. Alright, that gives me an autosave. How am I doing? I'm getting pretty close to another skill point. I do have still to get Acela to talk about her associates. I don't know how to make the jam harder core. And this has been killing me, but I'm gonna talk to Acela and then go and confront the pigs and get my guns back. I got 15 more minutes for that, so I think we'll do that when we come back. But until then, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon.